It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Tuesday, the 14th of December. I'm Michael Groff. A very potent but also very fast-moving winter storm will cross the region tonight. That will bring about a dramatic increase in wind. We'll see brief chances for rain and mountain snow, and then colder temperatures following in its wake. And as I mentioned, it's moving fast. By tomorrow, the sun returns and temperatures will be below average for the rest of the week, returning closer to seasonal normals by this weekend. But what about the weather for next week? Do we have any more opportunities for active weather? And how about that forecast for Christmas? We'll talk about all of it as we dive in and discuss. First, yesterday in the valley, 71 degrees the afternoon high, 49 was the morning low. The normal high is at 66, the normal low 45. And looking out there right now at 10:40 a.m., mostly cloudy sky across the valley, and we are sitting at 61 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew point at 45, relative humidity 59%. The winds are light for the moment, and the barometer is falling. The upper air look shows that powerful winter storm. It looks like it's still pretty far away from us. The center of the system is still over the Pacific Northwest. The axis of the trough drags south from there to west of San Francisco and then further south to well off the Southern California coast. But as mentioned, this thing is moving fast, and within about 15 hours from now, that cold front will be east of us, believe it or not. Here's the watch warning map, and yeah, it is all lit up. Look at this. We have a number of wind advisories, high wind warnings, winter weather advisories, and winter storm warnings out here through the west, the Rockies, even out into the Plain States, as far east as parts of Wisconsin. So this system will be affecting a good chunk of real estate in a very short period of time. Now, as far as Arizona is concerned, up north, we have a high wind warning for the Mogollon Rim up around Flagstaff. They also have winter storm warnings there. They expect snow, maybe significant snow, anywhere from 4 to 8 inches, maybe a little bit more than that in some localized spots, blowing snow. Roads may become completely impassable up there. Around here in Phoenix, we have a wind advisory in effect from 6 p.m. this evening through 5 a.m. Wednesday morning. As that cold front comes through, the winds will be picking up very rapidly later this afternoon and tonight. The convective outlook for today, no organized severe weather. You see some green just to the north of us, even across northern Arizona. There could be an isolated thunderstorm even here in the Phoenix area as that front comes through, but that is a very low-end possibility. And here's a look at precipitation. This is valid through next Tuesday morning. Rain amounts in Phoenix generally under 1/4 of an inch, although your rain gauge may just very well get a little bit more than what's shown here if you manage to get an isolated thunderstorm along our frontal band. But for the most part, this is going to be what we call a high pop, low QPF event. High probability of precipitation, low precip totals, because the system is moving so quickly. And we'll talk about what's going on with this and everything else too as we get to the models right now. Here we go. This is the GFS. It's the 12Z run. This is valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. There's our vigorous upper trough sitting to the west of us, a broad southwesterly flow out ahead of it. So down at the surface for the rest of this afternoon should be pretty nice. A mix of sun and clouds. There might be a sprinkle or a light shower someplace, but probably not. And winds will start to pick up out of the southeast or the south. I'd say 5 to 15 miles per hour for the rest of the afternoon. High temperatures managing to get into the low 70s. Now by this evening, the weather is going to start to deteriorate quickly. We'll see winds picking up out of the south. Maybe sustained as high as 30 miles per hour. We could see isolated gusts to 50 miles per hour by the mid to late evening, say after 8, 9, 10 p.m. as that cold front begins to approach us. And there might be a few showers in the evening, but I think they'll hold off until the frontal band comes in. And for more specifics on that, let's take a look at our high-res models. I know a lot of you have questions as to how this is going to play out, so let's try and answer those. This is the HRRR, our simulated radar product, and this is at 10 p.m. this evening. And at that point, you can see our frontal band is just to the west of us. There could even be some showers with that now knocking on the door of the West Valley at that time. So we think the best chance for rain will begin sometime, I'd say 9, 10 p.m. for the West Valley, and then moving east from there sometime between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. for us here in Metro Phoenix. And again, there could be a light shower before that, but that's the main window of opportunity as this front comes through. And as far as any risk for thunderstorms or severe weather, let's take a look at some of those parameters here. First, we'll check out the CAPE. This is the convective available potential energy coming off of our HRRR model. This is at 11 p.m. this evening. And you can see there's just virtually no CAPE here across south central Arizona. Values are under 100 joules per kilogram. And when we see that, it's certainly indicative that the chances for storms would be very low in a typical setup. There's a little bit of cape over northwest Arizona, but just not much. But sometimes we can get storms to develop in a high shear, low cape atmosphere. We've seen that with other storms in the past. So let's take a look at the bulk shear values. Again, this comes off of the HRRR, 11 o'clock tonight. And that is something we have in abundance. Look at these values, upwards of 80 to 100 knots over much of Arizona. And so this is just something we don't see these kinds of numbers very often across the state. In many cases, this is in the 95th to 99th percentile of climatology. It's just something we don't have often. And so that is a concern. And I know some of you have been asking about the potential of severe weather or even tornadoes. So to really hone in on this, let's take a look at a forecast sounding. Again, this is at 11 o'clock tonight. We're turning up the geekometer all the way here for this. But again, there's really no threat or no substantial threat for tornadoes when you have a forecast sounding like this. We have no helicity. That means we have no veering or twisting of the wind with altitude as you go up through the atmospheric column. You can see the wind barbs there are pretty unidirectional values as that cold front is coming through. Surface moisture is pretty small. We don't have really high precipitable water values, so this is not going to be a very heavy rain event. Certainly the lapse rates are all right, but everything else just says to us, other than the shear, which is extremely high, everything else pretty much says there's just not enough instability or forcing for a substantial thunderstorm threat. That said, because there's so much shear, because we do have these clashes of air masses, the wind screaming through the atmosphere, we could get a brief isolated thunderstorm, and it might even produce some stronger winds. But I think the bigger threat is just from gradient winds, not so much from thunderstorms. So if you hear a clap of thunder, don't get too surprised, but I just think that risk is really small, and we're not expecting any threat of tornadoes or large hail or anything like that. Otherwise, this event is going to be over with very quickly. That cold front is going to sweep through. This is the HRRR, again, back to the base reflectivity product at 1 a.m. And by that point, the front is east of us. We still have maybe some lingering showers over the East Valley, and that's going to be it. By 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, the rain is done, and the skies are going to start to clear. Now, we will still have very windy conditions just behind the front, but then the winds will die down by sunrise and a little bit after sunrise. They'll just be locally breezy by that point. Overnight lows tonight will drop very quickly with that front. We'll be down in the upper 30s to middle 40s. And then tomorrow, hey, a different kind of day. Mostly sunny, breezy in the morning, cooler, high temperatures mid to upper 50s. So we will be around 15 degrees cooler than what we've experienced today and in recent days. And then Thursday, we'll start the day out in the mid-30s to low 40s. High temperatures getting back to the low 60s. Same thing Friday, low 60s. The sky mostly sunny. Over the weekend, a weak wave comes through, but that's not going to have much of an implication on our weather. High temperatures are going to warm back up again, back toward the mid-60s, maybe upper 60s by the time we get to Sunday and Monday. And just a few passing clouds. That's going to be just about it for us. But look, there's another system building off of the West Coast, and that is going to be a focus for some forecast uncertainty as we go further into next week. Here's a week from today. This is Tuesday, the 21st. Upper low to the west of Northern California. Very impressive upper low at that, with maybe some Vort lobes rotating around that. And so this is going to cause our models to go a little bit crazy here. We have seen a number of solutions coming off of our ensemble guidance as far as the implications on our weather here in Arizona. Some of them show nothing at all. Some show some minor chances for rain by the middle part of next week. Others show a pretty significant rain event coming in here by the middle or latter portions of next week. If we take this run of the GFS at face value, we'd have a broad west to southwest flow, some high clouds around, temperatures pretty close to or maybe just a little above normal. And then as we look out 10 days, this is Thursday the 23rd, broad troughing across the west now, but in that setup, most of the precipitation would stay to the north of Arizona. We would see cooler temperatures, though, highs probably at or just slightly below average. But again, there is just a lot of uncertainty. And that is reflected here as we take a look at rainfall for Phoenix over the next couple of weeks. This goes out through the 29th of the month, and this is coming off of the European ensemble. And look, the control member is up there around 1.5 inches. The ensemble mean is about 1 inch. And certainly the European is suggesting some more active weather out here for the latter half of December. The GFS a little less optimistic on that, but it does show some opportunities for precipitation, especially right around Christmas time. And that's something that we're still keying in on. Not saying it's going to be a wet Christmas or a white Christmas across northern Arizona, but that is still a possibility. We will see. That's still just out of the range of our deterministic guidance, but we're going to keep an eye on things. And then temperatures off the national blend of models. After today, we're mostly going to see highs in the 60s, overnight lows in the 40s. And again, many valley locations will dip into the 30s on some mornings. That's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video back here tomorrow morning. If you enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave your comments, questions, and suggestions. As always, I invite you to check out my streaming station, KMGX. We play a ton of music, and it's fun. And, you know, it's not just me involved in that. It's also the one and only Michelle that helps to program that, and you get to hear my voice and, more importantly, her voice over there. So be sure to check that out. I'll leave a link in the description. You can use your smart speaker, say, Alexa, play KMGX live. I thank you so much for watching. It is greatly appreciated. We just couldn't do this without your continued support. And you guys be safe out there. Tie down those Christmas decorations or just bring them in. Some of that lawn furniture, too, might become airborne tonight. And have yourselves a tremendous Tuesday.